Hello there. I just thought I'd make a quick update video to answer a couple of questions that have been coming my way in the past couple of days, and that's essentially, what are you doing, Mr. Soup? What are you up to? It's been a couple of months since you published an In Focus video. The aspects of archaeology, GIS, was unfortunately delayed by that unfortunate mail business, which incidentally will be coming on Monday, I'm fairly sure. And also, ultimately, you seem to be publishing a lot of Questions of Doom and Archifacts at the moment. So, where are your videos? We love your videos. Where have they gone? Well, I'm sat here in the dining room at Archaea Soup Towers to quickly try and answer that question. Also, actually make some things a bit more clear. And that is, first of all, essentially I'm rushed off my feet. This project work that I've been talking about for a while now is ongoing. And I'm very pleased actually to be able to say today what I've been working on. We'll come back to that in a moment. Basically, I'm a one-man band, and if I'm busy, sadly, videos do come back a little bit more slowly. This only because that I'm trying to maintain quality as much as quantity, as it were. I love being prolific, but more than that, I like to be as accurate as possible, indeed as useful as possible. So until I can get some more people on board, which I am aiming to do incidentally at some point. Until then, I'm afraid when I'm busy, everything has to sort of essentially take its place in a queue. And as it stands, it just means that some videos take that bit more time to produce. Anyway, the big announcement really is what the projects I've been working on are. Project number 1, are you ready for this? Drum roll, sit back in your seat, prepare. Is that I've been working, essentially, or starting to work at the very least, with Durham University Library and also the Cathedral to a certain extent, to prepare the way for an educational app linked with the arrival of the Lindisfarne Gospels to the northeast of England in the summer of 2013. Now, I'm very excited about this project, and indeed it sounds like they are too, because what we're trying to do is make something which will complement the exhibition in Durham, which will work on its own, and which will also communicate something of why the Lindisfarne Gospels are so important, not only to the people of the northeast of England, but also, frankly, the English-speaking world, what they represent, and how they were made, where they travelled, how they survived. This is all a fascinating story, and frankly, one which is crucially important to the history of, to the history of thought in the Western world. So the community which surrounded the Lindisfarne Gospels were very important as far as that goes. So I'm truly honoured actually to be involved with such a project. Now, it's still very much in its infancy. It doesn't have to be ready certainly until sometime after the spring next year. But it's brilliant, but it is also taking up some of my time, so I could not be more happy. If you don't know what the Lindisfarne Gospels are, I will, and I've said this before, I will do an In Focus video on those as soon as I can. But before then, I've actually promised that I'll do an In Focus on the Luck of Edenhall. Yeah, exactly. If you've never heard of that, Google that, it's very interesting. So that's project number 1. Now, project number 2... I can't really do a drum roll anymore. Well, certainly not today. Anyway, project number 2 is actually that I'm trying to build a bit of a cooperative network. Not cooperative in sort of the business sense, but rather cooperative as in, a community working together. In and around Newcastle, which will link people who are involved in heritage work, in education, in culture, and also just essentially in keeping the aspects of the city going, which aren't purely to do with infrastructure and the economy and this kind of thing, to get them essentially to come together to try and communicate a bit more, and also actually to maybe even pool resources and volunteers and this kind of thing, to essentially try and ensure a future for Newcastle's history, or rather a future for Newcastle's past. There's been a huge, a swinging, essentially, raft of cuts to the council budget in the past few weeks. We've seen this coming for a while, and it's really going to actually seriously threaten the future of smaller museums, also, frankly, just bigger museums in the city. And what I'm trying to do is bring together, I suppose, a new way of approaching this problem. and try and, as I say, just ensure that all these different institutions are doing their best to support each other, but also actually to cross-promote and to talk about Newcastle's history. Frankly, before I moved here, I didn't know Newcastle had a castle. I know, strange, isn't it? So there you go, that's project number 2. That's also in its infancy, but I'm happy to talk about it in as much as I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping it's going to go ahead. I'm talking with various people to try and essentially get an initial conference together to get people to talk and to essentially sign up to working together. But again, it's very exciting work. But again, takes up also a lot of my time. So there you go, 2 very exciting projects that I've been working on for a good few months now, and that is the reason, folks, why Archaeoscope videos have been coming that bit more slowly. It's because I've been doing that, I've been doing work with schools and a couple of museums as well, and I've been trying my best to put out high quality educational materials, as ever, for you guys to enjoy and share, I suppose, and learn with and from and to comment on. So there you go. Hopefully this goes some way to answering the questions that have been sent my way. I'll put this video up immediately, so your questions are answered as quickly as humanly possible. Yeah, thank you very much for your support and your patience while I continue to work on these exciting developments in, I suppose, in history and heritage in this part of the world. So I'll keep you posted from now on how they're going. I won't leave you in the dark. I just haven't wanted to get your hopes up, indeed get my hopes up too quickly with regards to those projects. But it seems now that they're more solid than ever, and therefore I'm quite happy to talk about them. So there you go. Essentially, thanks for checking in. Thanks for asking, because frankly, it could have been that I was just losing interest. I was going to, walk off at some point. And I'm not losing interest at all. It's just literally, I'm just so busy. So thank you again, and ultimately, take care. Bye-bye.